All right, good morning. Good morning. We're going to get into these real estate things. First and foremost, I've got a game that I use to practice contracting. It's called Housing Market. Let's take a look at that real quick. All right, the premise of this game is start a new game. Difficulty, we'll start on easy. All right, and you can see that you got your housing market over here, and you've got your clients over here. All right, so they kind of jump into it, which I don't like, but basically you can practice, right? So you have two people that you can fill out contracts for. So the first contract in transaction desk is going to be your agency relationship in real estate transactions, also known as agency disclosure. All right. So Minnesota law requires early in any relationship, real estate brokers or salespersons discuss with consumers what type of agency representation or relationship they desire. The available options are listed below. This is not a contract. This is an agency disclosure form. Only if you desire representation, you must enter into a written contract according to state law. A listing contract or a buyer-tenant representation contract. Until such time as you choose to enter into a written contract for representation, you will be treated as a customer and will not receive any representation from the broker or salesperson. The broker or salesperson will be acting as facilitator. See paragraph 4 on page 2. Unless the broker or salesperson is representing another party as described below. All right, so this acknowledgement and these signatures are not to be read until you go over this stuff. I wish that this was later in the contract. Why is it like this? I don't know. Somebody smarter than me made it this way. But I would say that this should be at the end of the contract. Because you should go over this stuff with your people as a real estate agent. It should happen. So seller, landlord's broker. This is the person who's working as a seller's agent. I'm not reading all that. We're making this quick. We're making this sweet. I got laundry to do. We've got the buyer's broker. Also, same thing. Minnesota statutes are here. You can look up all that shit online. Dual agency means that you are working for the brokerage that is representing the seller and the buyer. All right. So if you're working with a buyer, but the seller is also working at your same brokerage, that's dual agency. If you're working with the seller and the buyer comes in and you know that they work out of your brokerage, that's dual agency. Pretty easy. And then facilitator. It said up here, if you haven't contracted them, you are a facilitator. Now, your goal as a real estate agent is to get them to sign the contract. And as a facilitator, you really don't owe them anything besides confidentiality. All right. They only get the old car treatment if they're one of these three things, which is contracted. Right? And they go over the old car thing right here. These are the fiduciary duties of somebody that you've contracted or towards somebody that you've contracted. OLDCAR. Why they have this mixed up? I don't know. It should be old car. All right. So obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting, reasonable care. You know, this is your job. You care about it, right? Okay. And that's it. And why they have this on every single document, I have no idea. Because I don't believe that this has anything to do with agency disclosure. But there it is. Easy. Easy done. All right. So now that we've read through the whole thing, we acknowledge we've been presented with the below described options, kind of like an ice cream store. What kind of ice cream do you want? Do you want the seller agent? Do you want the buyer's agent? Are you getting the seller and the buyer's agent in one brokerage? Or do you want none of it? I mean, there's really no choice to be made here. You just understand that there are choices. Until we have signed a representation contract, we are not represented. I understand that written consent is required for a dual agency relationship. This is a disclosure only, not a contract for representation. So this one should be the easiest signature ever. You should just be throwing this out at people and letting people know option 1, option 2, option 3, and until you sign a contract with me, I am option 4. That's it. So that being said, sign, spouse sign, easy breezy. Any questions, leave it in the comments below. And have a great day.